over IPL. We are here at the Peerless event with Sirous Yazdanian at SY Electronics. Sirous, I see you've got something up your sleeve as normal. You've got these three amazing devices. What do I call them? Relays, controllers. But to me, it starks back to the engineering days. The days that you would really design something that was so powerful, but yet it could fit inside your small pocket. Tell me a bit about the thinking and what the use cases for these devices.
Absolutely, Theo. These are, as you mentioned, controllers, but are also peripheral drivers, right? So the units can be acting as a master controller, and the units at the same time can be a master controller with peripherals, or purely act as a subordinate peripheral, right? So let's look at the device. The device has got PoE Ethernet interface, right? It's also got RS485 and RS232 interface, right? Choice is the most important part of it. And then this particular device has got 3 general purpose I/O and 3 relays, right? So from a control point of view, it also has got wireless capability, right?
Right.
Needless to say that from an Ethernet point of view, it's got a built-in PoE. Yet, look at it, so slim.
Yeah.
About 11 millimeters high, right? It can fit more or less anywhere, and it's very low power, right? So, as a family, there is, for example, this unit, MC4, whereby this one, similar to the other, however, it's got 4 RS232s. Not only have 4 RS232s, but it can be up to 8 IR, right? So it can be simultaneously 4 RS232s and 4 IR, or up to 8 IR, right? So this can be subordinate, or again, it can be a master, right? This tiny little thing can address hundreds of devices, right? So it can do a full building management for you from this tiny little thing.
So just to explain to people that might not understand, we're talking about, let's say, your curtains or your projector screen or what else?
No problem. Or anything. Your matrix, your it can control your system temperature. It can, anything you wish to control, this can control, right? Any device which is IP controlled, it directly controls, right? Using our Nebularis software, you can write any program to any extent you wish, right? Regarding its subordinate devices, such as, for example, you can have, let's say this one has got 4 RS232s, you can use 3 more MC4s dotted around the building, right? Each one as a subordinate, right? Controlling what you call it, their own regional RS232s, right?
And talk to me about the security aspect as well.
Well, security-wise, we've got 2 layers of security. Number one, the intercommunication, that's over a secure layer, but more importantly, from an access point of view, right? So you've got 2 levels of access control. One, administrator, right? But then we limit that to the user, right?
Right.
So that they've got lesser access point, such that they can do no damage, right? They can just use it rather than configure it, etc.
Sure, exactly.
Right? And also, as well as all that, the unit has got the capability of having built-in web serving, right?
Okay.
Again, if you've got the right access, you can get in and look at it and beyond it, right? So you can use this as an entry point into your mesh of devices that are connected to it.
So for a point of differentiation, what would be the differentiation? Why would I use these as opposed to your faceplates?
First of all, these are much more powerful, right? Secondly, not always do you need key switches, right? You want something that you can basically control from, let's say, your mobile phone, let's say your pad, or a PC, a remote PC, etc. You can do that with this, right? Without problem. And in fact, why do we go that far? This can work easily in conjunction with any of our existing keypads and our future keypads, right? They can seamlessly integrate together. Yes, sometimes you do need something on the wall that's your go-to place, right? But you can have a brain somewhere within your system, which you already would have pre-thought and pre-configured for your system. But it doesn't have to be a big box somewhere, right? This can go into the tiniest of the spaces, right? Requiring only one RJ45 to go into it. You don't have to use the peripheral devices on it because it's so cost effective, right? So small, it can fit anywhere.
I mean, this is quite revolutionary because it's really for the thinking SI, someone that really can get the maximum amounts of control and relay from such a small device in this ergonomic shape. And obviously, because of the way that I know that you design your products, you always think about dissipation of heat and everything else.
Absolutely.
In this kind of, and the fact that it's PoE, it just seamlessly works within a network.
Absolutely. These devices generally are less than 2 watts in power, right? So that's nothing, right? So it's extremely low power. So if you're talking about environment, etc., the amount of power that they use, right? And that's worst case, by the way, right? It's such a low power that it becomes insignificant, right? So you really have got the best of both worlds.
I mean, I'd really like to see, you know, you've got these very complex and very expensive control systems out there from a lot of different manufacturers. I'd really like to see what kind of bang for your buck you can get and what you can show and how effective something like this is in comparison to that, because that's the value right there. Is if you dive into something like that, it gives you a whole layer of different control at such a low barrier to entry that it's just a no-brainer.
You're absolutely right. These are extremely cost effective, right? Compared to some of the brands out there, these are absolute minimum half the price, if not third quarter of the price.
And what about the complexity of programming?
Oh, Nebularis Studio is one of the simplest way to control, or should I say configure, right? However, at the same time, Nebularis Studio gives the opportunity of programming in Lua and other languages, right? So programmability is so simple with a vast array of different sort of, libraries that we've got built in, right? You can access anything and everything from these devices. You can build your own way of, configuring systems, etc., right? And you can use your existing, if you've done a project, right, you can basically use that project as a basis for your next project, right? So everything that you've got,
you can reuse.
Usable, right? It makes your life so much easier. And most jobs have got something in common. So instead of starting new, you start from a common ground, right? And modify, right? That means something something like this, whereby you've got, I don't know, between half an hour to maybe an hour to program a very complex system, right? You can cut that down to a matter of minutes or tens of minutes, right? So you've got so much flexibility and you can save so much time and effort, right? You can configure more or less anything you want with such simple device.
Brilliant. And do you have a pricing for all of these?
We have, right? For that, please contact office, right?
Brilliant.
We won't give the game away just like that.
All right. Cheers. Have a great show. And I hope to see you again.
Look forward to that.
Come on, y'all remember my name. DJ Woody.